After trips to Misano in Italy and Estoril in Portugal, the FIM JuniorGP World Championship now visits another iconic circuit on the motorsports calendar. Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya has certainly witnessed its fair share of history, and it's time to make a little bit more on this hallowed turf in the northeast of Spain. 4.7 kilometers in length, 14 turns, and the longest straight on the JuniorGP calendar provide the perfect ingredients for top class racing, and it is now the turn of the JuniorGP class to come out for the second race of the day. A very good afternoon to you all who are tuning in. It is now time, I should say, for the second JuniorGP race of the day. We were treated to an absolutely spectacular one earlier in the morning, and as you can see, perfect conditions for racing lie ahead in the JuniorGP class. 15 laps of fun then will begin very shortly. We've already crowned one race winner today, and we will see if another one can appear. So as you can see, we had a fair share of drama already in the class, but this is how race one unfolded. Adrian Cruz has started on pole position with Eddie O'Shea rounding out the front row, but we're missing Casey O'Gorman, who suffered problems on the warm-up lap and started from pit lane, but it was Max Quiles who took the whole shot. However, Quiles had to serve a double long lap penalty, which cost him. Eddie O'Shea led for large parts of the race, and he set the pace out front as Quiles tucked in behind and came in for another long lap penalty, with Jesus Rios and Marcos Uriarte then benefiting to get themselves into the podium places. Alessandro Morosi started deep on the grid also and managed to push himself up this pecking order. So then O'Shea, the number 8 of the MLab team, was once again in control of the race. Uriarte was just behind him, with the likes of Alvaro Carpe, Jesus Rios among others, Morosi, all battling for honours. You could throw a blanket over the top riders in the class, and it was a chaotic race with chopping and changing of positions among the top 15. But amid it all, Eddie O'Shea remained cool, calm and collected as he continued to lead time after time. Marcus Uriarte making a move for second place as Jakob Rossenthaler on Licky Moly Machinery went down to fourth. Rossenthaler recovered for third, but you can see here Cruces diving up the inside to take P3. The pole sitter timing his run in the race right. Cruces was busy making moves, getting up the inside of Uriarte, and it proved very costly for Eddie O'Shea, the race leader, who was bunted wide. But it was Jesus Rios who struck after that confusion on the last lap for his third victory of the campaign, and to once again to be the championship leader on 75 points and extend his championship advantage. Big celebrations down in Parc Ferme after a brilliant race from Rios. And a special moment for Rios too, as he was handed his winning trophy by none other than Moto3's Colin Vire, one of the main protagonists in the Moto3 World Championship. As you can see, there's quite a balmy day, quite toasty, 21 degrees in the air, but look at that, a sweltering 41 degrees track temperature. And we have seen that come into play in the Moto2 class, particularly early in the race, as tyre wear and tyre degradation came into effect. So Adrian Cruces then will start from pole position. A reminder, if you weren't watching the first race, that he is starting on pole after Alessandro Morosi, who was actually the quickest rider in qualifying but was disqualified after the session due to a technical infringement, meaning Cruces starts on pole. Casey O'Gorman moves up to second position, the number 67, and then Eddie O'Shea is promoted onto the front row. Cruces then, as you can see from the season so far, he is up to third in the championship. He's picked up 2 podiums, one in Misano, one in Catalunya, with strong point scoring finishes in Misano and Estoril, seeing him really enter and build some good championship momentum. Do not sleep on Cruces' name.
There's someone that knows good taste in music, Nirvana t-shirts. rocking the grandstands for some of these fans here today. And rocking the grandstands, we've got a little bit of Queen playing out over the PA system as well. I must admit, the person in charge of the music this weekend has been on fire.
They always are.
They always
Every
are.
time we come to Barcelona.
A bit of Guns N'
Casey
Roses, a bit
O'Gorman
of
then, the Irish tricolour. I'm not biased, Liam, but I would love to see him on the top step. However, starting P2, you can see his result there, P32. What happened to Casey O'Gorman in race 1 was he had to start from pit lane, having watched the start, having an issue, a technical issue at the warm-up lap.
If there's one
Now,
thing
I feel bad actually talking now.
No, not at all. I mean, you can show your patriotism. It's okay.
With Queen in the background.
With Queen, I know. I feel like we should be a little bit
Bohemian
quiet.
Rhapsody.
However, we've got to keep the people at home informed. And they've stopped it anyway, so they're giving us a bit of kudos. So Eddie O'Shea, a bit unlucky in the first race.
It's hard not to feel sorry for him because he put in a really, really classy ride at the front of the pack, and he led for the vast majority of laps. But you see that P12 actually, he came after Max Quiles was demoted a few positions after a 3-second penalty. But yeah, really, really. I was going to say upsetting, but hard done by, I would say.
And you have to say, it's a shame because it must have been his most convincing ride so far in Junior GP. He looked comfortable at the front, he looked happy to be there, and he showed he has great coolness and racecraft while leading the race. So it's a shame for Eddie, but we can imagine he's going to bounce back just as Eddie, as Casey O'Gorman will as well. And another rider that's going to bounce back, considering he doesn't have a double long lap penalty to serve this race, is Max Quiles. As you mentioned, he was given a 3-second penalty after cutting the chicane with a couple of laps at the end, and he dropped him back from 4th to P15, so he is out to make amends from race 1.
Yeah, you can see P15 popping up on the screen there for his placement, but it doesn't tell half the story of his race earlier this morning. The double long lap penalty, as Liam has mentioned, came into play. It saw him go from P1 to P12 the first time he entered, and then it saw him go P4, I think, to P15, if memory serves me correct, the second time, and just less than a couple laps later, I would say, he was right back in that victory fight until on the penultimate lap he took that shortcut and didn't drop enough places. A strong outing for Jakob Rossenthaler then in race 1. The Austrian was very much in the thick of the action, but just missed out on the podium. He of course does have a podium to his name coming in the season opener Estoril in 2023.
Yeah, Rossenthaler showed great speed throughout most of this year, to be fair to the young Austrian, and he'll be looking to step onto that podium for the first time this year. A rider that will be hoping to make amends is his teammate on the outside of row 2, Rico Salmela. We're not sure, but he was leading the race early on and dropped all the way back to 16th. And once he was out of the group for top 15, he just really couldn't reel himself back in. So once you're out of that group, you really lose the toe. You really lose the train get away from you. And Salmela just couldn't hold pace with the rest of them. So he'll be looking to come out all guns blazing in race 2.
Yeah, he very much dropped like a stone over the opening laps and fell out of contention. Missed out on the points, did the flying Finn after stunning victory in Estoril last time out in the north of Portugal. However, I'm sure him and his team would have been busy at work across the lunch break, rectifying the issues they suffered. Cormac Buchanan then, starting from 7th, back-to-back P3s in Misano and Estoril. 5th in this morning's race. Another strong ride from the Kiwi, who's really stepped up a level this year.
He really has. He's been super impressive as Cormac Buchanan. 3 top 5s in the last 4 races.
They're enjoying the tunes.
They actually are. I mean, as are we. We're almost ready to get out of this commentary box and go have a bit of a rock, a bit of a rave almost. But yes, Cormac Buchanan, 3 top 5s in the last 3 races. Could have been 4 if he did crash out of race 1. However, the one with the biggest smile and the sun gleaming off those braces is Jesus Rios. The only anomaly there is Estoril, and I'm sure his championship rivals will be thankful for that race in Estoril, considering he's been unstoppable so far. He picked his moment perfectly in race 1 earlier on today to take advantage of Adrian Cruces going a little bit deep into turn 10 and punting out wide Uriarte and Eddie O'Shea. So he's one of those riders. The greats always know how to pick the strategy well.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a swagger about him, as you can see there, the smile, the wink to camera. And he had it in Parc Fermé, well deserved, after timing his run to the line beautifully in race 1. Marcus Uriarte, another rider who has timed it to perfection on a couple of occasions this season, secured P2 as part of that podium battle all the way through this morning. Secured P2 in a chaotic race, back-to-back P2s, third podium of the campaign, P2 in the championship. Things are going well for Uriarte.
They really are indeed. He's been a little bit overshadowed in the Uriarte family because of his cousin Brian, who has been a serial race winner in European Talent Cup and last night in Red Bull Rookies. But he's started to make a name for himself, and he's no stranger to Junior GP and some success in the past as well, picking up some podiums in Red Bull Rookies and CV Moto3, as it was known back in 2021. A rider that you've got to feel a little bit sorry for is Fernando Yambias. He picked up his best ever result in race 1, but with a track limits infringement on the final lap, he dropped from 5th to 6th, so he's equalled his best results in Junior GP. However, the Uruguayan rider is showing good form in 2023, and he was riding up the front and not looking out of place, so expect more from the 94 on board the Team Estrella Galicia 00. But one rider that struggled a little bit was Hakim Danish.
Yeah, he had a strong outing, I would say. Well, a decent outing in Estoril Misano, picking up the points. Didn't get fully going, but it is he is on the learning curve, and he's continuing his education here in the Junior GP class.
Yes, he's a very aggressive rider, but a rider that likes to get his elbows out, but he's usually quite clean as well as Hakim Danish. Now, as the riders prepare for race number 2, here is the grid. It's Cruces from O'Gorman. O'Gorman will be hoping to get a start ahead of the warm-up lap. And then outside of row 1 is Eddie O'Shea. Max Keela is ahead of row 2. He won't have to serve any long lap penalties this race, ahead of Rosenthaler and Salmela. Cormac Buchanan heads row 3, ahead of Fernando Yambias on the outside. Well, Yambias heads at row 4. Hakim Danish and Alvaro Carpe on the outside of row 4. Daniel Sharil, Powerlike and Liguori on row 5 ahead of Abruzzo. Adi Tama, he started at the back of the grid in the previous race, but he's back into 17th ahead of Marossi. Ruda, Moodley, watch out for Moodley from row 7, charging through the field. And Boggio, who picked up 7th in race number 1, watch out for him as well, ahead of Evan Belford, Angus Grenfell and Odaki on row number 8. Farkas, Uchimi and Fuetasan running at row 10, ahead of Tietzi. And of course, Yuzi on the last one. It was the graphics disappeared before I could get the last name. I just had to go back to my sheet of paper from race 1, so got there eventually.
You could say there was nothing noisy about that.
Oh, goodness me, he's cracking the jokes already.
My apologies. So off we go on the warm-up lap then. Adrian Cruces launching from pole position. No hiccups this time for Casey O'Gorman, which is good to see. He slots in. Keep an eye on the number 67. Massively talented rider. But just... he's had a bit of a divorce from Lady Luck, shall we say, in recent races. Warm-up didn't quite go so well for him, had to start from pit lane. Estoril, he was challenging for the lead on the penultimate lap, and he just crashed out in the damp conditions. So it'll be interesting to see what the number 67 can do. Of course, it is a field packed with absolute talent. We've got Max Keeles, Eddie O'Shea, Rosenthaler, Sal Mella, a very multinational field to this Junior GP grid as well, which is wonderful to see. Then on the third row, you've the Spaniards, top 2 in the championship, Rios, Uriarte, Cormac Buchanan from New Zealand, all capable of pulling off a brilliant result here. As we look at the championship standings, it is Rios who leads with 3 wins. Uriarte's 3 podiums and strong point scoring finish sees him in 2nd place, chasing Rios.
I was going to say, just to pick up on your point there, Chris, it's a very international grid, and it's great to see because the road to MotoGP is all about this now, trying to find the best talent from not just here in Europe, but all over the world. And it seems to be that those talent programs, your Asia Talent Cups, your Northern Talent Cups, your British Talent Cups, are now really starting to find their feet and bringing through those young riders that will go on. Oh, a bit of contact there. Was that looks like Evan Belford, or was it maybe Eddie O'Shea? We'll have to look for that one again.
No,
Eddie O'Shea's there, so it might be.
Anyways, Belford's down towards the end of proceedings.
Well, keep it calm, guys. I mean, the race hasn't even started yet, and they're already trying to knock each other off into the gravel trap. So, well, if it's this heated already, we've got 15 laps of this, Chris. I don't know how we're going to make it to the end.
Junior GP never fails to disappoint, and I'd be surprised if they started today. We're almost ready to go then here for the second race of the weekend. We see Alvaro Carpe, Rico Salmela, Casey O'Gorman, all talented riders, all podium finishers in respective class. Of course, O'Gorman's still waiting for his main podium in this class. But the green flag waves at the back of the grid, which means the red flag is about to leave. We're about to see the red lights turn on in the top left of our screen, and we will be underway very shortly. Adrian Cruz launching from pole position. He gets a good launch, as does O'Gorman, as does O'Shea, but so does Max Quiles. Quiles charging through from the second row. It looks like O'Gorman is going to lead into turn one. No, indeed, it's going to be Quiles. A brilliant start with Eddie O'Shea then up the inside, slotting into P2. O'Gorman in the third, Jesus Rios. Great start from the third row to get him straight into P4. And this is a blockbuster race already. Adrian Cruz is going the wrong way. He's gone down to fifth from pole position. Cormac Buchanan is actually ahead of Cruces. They get a little bit close for comfort there. That's Russ and Tyler and Cruces. So it is Max Quiles who gets the dream start ahead of Eddie O'Shea and Casey O'Gorman leading.
Yeah, Rico Samela has disastrous days. Still just going as bad. He's down to 13th from. Oh, we've got a crasher in the background there. Bike on the track. Not quite sure who that was. The bike is pirouetting as it goes down the track. We've got some way to go there, Sunshine, to get that bike back. So hopefully he'll be able to get that back. I think that might have been. It was Uchimi. Yeah, it was Uchimi. So a shame there for the MT Junior team, and the other MT Junior team rider of Yuzu is just ahead of, or just right at the back at the moment. So disaster there for the MT Junior team, but no disaster so far for Max Quiles. Your team, Estrella Galicia 00 rider, ahead of the British talent team, MLAV Racing of Eddie O'Shea and Jesus Rios. Your race winner today so far, and already your championship leader by quite some margin, is in third ahead of Casey O'Gorman. Thankfully, the Irishman has been able to get away this time round, as we see Uchimi walking away. Yeah, a bit of frustration there. Bit of frustration for the young Japanese rider.
Other days for Uchimi. Unfortunately, today, not his day in race 2, but Max Quiles then is out in front. Eddie O'Shea adopts a different line coming over the front straight as Jesus Rios files in behind the race leader. Let's see, now they go width for width. Casey O'Gorman pulls out as well and gets in front of Rios. Eddie O'Shea steals the lead. Brilliant stuff from the young Brit. Watch Cruces coming up the inside here, the number 11. He's into fourth position, and all of a sudden, it is all changed. Jesus Rios has been demoted a couple of positions. Max Quiles is now in second behind Eddie O'Shea. Adrian Cruz up to fourth behind Casey O'Gorman. Ross and Thaler ahead of Rios and Buchanan. Facundo Yambias as well, keep an eye on him, the number 94 there. 3 Team Estrella Galicia bikes leading in this pack already. Max Quiles is leading the charge. If you're getting confused for them, just look for the flag. The Spanish flag is in the front of the 28. The number 67 has the Irish flag, while the number 96 has the Uruguayan flag. A very international feel.
It was like clockwork down the front straight, wasn't it, Chris? With Eddie O'Shea just pulling off to the left of the circuit, and as he was bragging about to us yesterday in the MLAB hospitality, he's very good at tucking under the bubble and getting that straight line speed, so he doesn't need a draft to get past to the riders in front. He can do it all by himself. However, he doesn't quite get the drive out of turn 3 like Max Quiles does, and Max Quiles already happy to lead from the front with his teammate Casey O'Gorman in third. Here comes Rosenthaler once again. Larry on the brakes, sideways does Rosenthaler go, but slots into second. There'll be some gasps of air seeing Rosenthaler backing it in, as he has come together with a few riders so far this year, but keeping it cool, clean. You're right there. Oh, there we go. RB Adetama, disaster. His return to JuniorGP this weekend has not gone the way he wants. A winner here 1 year ago.
He won this corresponding race last season.
Yeah. Such a shame for RB Adetama. Bit of an injury to start off the season. It was his first round back, but the Indonesian rider, he'll be back to fight another day. There's talent there, and his speed there, and his speed, of course, on that MLAB bike with Eddie O'Shea once more pulling out of the slipstream. Casey O'Gorman next to him. This is O'Shea's next to each other. O'Shea and O'Gorman. Who's later on the brakes? It's Eddie O'Shea from Casey O'Gorman. Your Brit, the Englishman, leads the Irishman into turn 1 and 2 with Rosenthaler slotting into third. Cruces, Yambias, and Quiles is all the way back to 7th.
Yeah, it can change in the blink of an eye. Just ask Eddie O'Shea, and Eddie O'Shea now is being challenged for the lead. Casey O'Gorman's got the inside line as they approach into turn 4, and O'Gorman makes it stick. Will he get out in the lead? He's in the lead now. It looks like O'Shea doesn't have an answer for the Irishman, and brilliant stuff. Real role reversal of fortunes for O'Gorman, who had a horrible race 1, let's put it bluntly, because he had a pit lane start and never had the pace to keep going. We've lost Dodo Baggio, who recorded, I think, a top 10 finish in race 1. Very strong ride from the Italian rookie, but not to be in race 2. So out front, it's O'Gorman over O'Shea. I can claim them both as Irish. They both have Irish surnames. Rossenthaler then, nothing Irish about that. He's in P3 ahead of Cruces, Yambias and Max Quiles. Your race 1 winner and championship leader is on the number 54 bike, as you can see on the left-hand side, but he is running just a little bit behind in 7th, as we see the lead change hands once again, and O'Shea runs a wider line, and Rossenthaler does take 2nd position, but it is O'Shea who takes the lead, with O'Gorman now demoted to P3.
You've got to hold your breath when you see Rossenthaler dive for the apex in turn 10, because you're not sure if he's in complete control or a little bit leery, but I've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. So far, so good for the young Austrian. He has been in complete control, making me eat my words completely. As you can see, a gaggle of Estrella Galicia Team 00 bikes, part of that. Yambias, Quiles and O'Gorman in 3rd. Down the front straight we go. We saw this in race 1 when Eddie O'Shea leads across the line. Down the front straight, nobody can lay a glove on him. As you see again, Cruces diving out of the slipstream. He cuts off Yambias. Yambias round the outside. O'Gorman, Quiles, and I think that might be, is it Uriarte or Morosi? It's Uriarte. Morosi's a few bikes further back, but Uriarte, he's come to play now. There's rider 2nd in the championship. He doesn't want Rios to pull any more points back, as Cruces has to just put his knee out a little bit so he doesn't tag the back of O'Shea. O'Gorman slots in the 4th. Quiles up to 5th, but it's Yambias, the Uruguayan rider. He's shown great form here today. He's in 2nd now. Yeah,
Yambias with a fantastic line coming through 3 to take a couple of riders in one go. And now he is taking the lead off the hands of Eddie O'Shea. Brilliant stuff from the Uruguayan. Does O'Shea have a response? They go side by side, coming down into the kink at left before a heartbreaking left-hander at 7. They'll shift it right again. It's Yambias who will lead through this section, coming on towards the back straight. Before we get onto the back straight, we have to take the right-hander here at turn 9. Cruces as well is into the slipstream here of O'Shea. Does he have an opportunity to get later onto the brakes here? As they really spread out across track. This is the top 14, I believe, and it's Salmela at the back of them, only about a second, 1.4 seconds between them. So you can throw a blanket over them, but it is O'Shea who does hold the lead ahead of Yambias, with Adrian Cruces having now been relegated to 4th position with one of the Estrella Galicia machines. It's Max Quiles, of course, who is now in P3. Quiles is never far from the action, is he, Liam?
He never is, indeed. He's about to give us some more action in the final corner. Doesn't make it stick up the inside of Yambias, but Yambias does hold station for now. And I think it was Marcos Ruda, I was watching him in the background, into La Caixa corner, turn 10, who had a really unorthodox line. Thought he might have been heading to the car park route, but he was able to stay stationary. Top 15 again, all in your shot, and it's going to be Quiles that takes lead, with O'Shea trying to find a way around the outside. Cruces slots in there, and it's Yambias O'Gorman as well who slots in just behind, but it's Uriarte up to 4th as well. So you could throw a blanket over all 15 of these riders. They came across the line first. Can you believe this? 1 second covering the top, well, 14 it is, not 15, but 14 anyway. Look at that, it's crazy here. JuniorGP action at its absolute best.
Yeah, Quiles adopts a wider line there, but he still holds the lead over O'Shea, so it looks like it's going to be a proper ding-dong battle between these two. And of course, keep an eye on the number 89. We haven't mentioned him so much, but he is a 3-time podium finisher in 2024, Marcus Uriarte. He knows his way around these types of podium battles and how to keep himself in contention. He hasn't vied for the lead just yet, but he is running in P3, just ahead of Yambias, who has got Cruces and O'Gorman for company. So, chop a block in the early stages of this one. We're about a third of the way through, as the number 19 of Morosi runs onto the green a little back. It looks like a little bit of a gap. May just
O'Gorman, a bit of a shake on the head there. I thought he might have just clobbered the back of Cruces, but he amazingly got that one stopped there going into turn 10.
Yeah. Well, O'Gorman's still very much in contention here. I was just saying, a little bit of gap has opened up between Rossenthaler and Morosi. You would see Morosi ran wider now, about 0.6 of a second between them. It's not a whole lot, but it's the first signs of a gap we have seen. So, will we see that gap extend, or will that chasing pack now come back into contention as we go down the front straight? It's O'Shea about to challenge Quiles for the lead, and we've got Uriarte in there too, just ready to pounce on any potential mistake between the front two. Yambias has pulled out to the far left, but it is O'Shea now who leads this race. Who will slot into second behind the Brit? It's Quiles, with Yambias making his move for third place. Uriarte relegation down in position, just ahead of Russell Thaler.
That was very interesting. O'Shea led coming across the line, so you know O'Shea doesn't just have the speed down the straight, but he's also got the drive out of the final corner. That could be very, very important for the final lap, but the drive out of turn 3 at Quiles, and he just manages to hook that up as Yambias comes to the front as well, follows his teammate through into second spot. So Yambias, he's really sharpened up his elbows here today. He's been hanging his teammate O'Gorman out to dry and a few others on the previous lap. And for now, Uriarte round the outside. Will he make that one stick? That's very bombastic and very brave as well, but he does lose a couple of positions there to Rosenthaler and O'Shea. Rios, he's back in the mix now. It looks like maybe this top 7 or 8 have opened up a bit of a gap now over the chasing pack, back down to maybe Morossi and Cormac Buchanan. But however, Morossi from P18 on the grid, he's already up to 9, so he's another rider, former podium finisher. He is one to watch throughout the remaining 9.5 laps to go as they come down towards Lakasha corner. And it's O'Shea that goes for the move on Yambias. Clearly, like as O'Gorman sets up Uriarte for 5th as well. Rosenthaler takes advantage of Yambias being hung out to dry by O'Shea, but for now, it's Quiles. He doesn't know any of this is going on behind him. He's still leading the way, as cool as you like.
Trouble brewing for the number 28 though, out at the front of the pack. He's got track limit warning with 10 laps still to go, or just over 9 laps as we come over to complete the 6th lap of the day. So he's got to keep it squeaky clean, or long lap penalties coming his way. Eddie O'Shea, once again, well observed in the previous lap lane, but he's done it again, getting out in front. So
he's brilliant.
Keep an eye on that coming out of final corner, dash for the line. So Uriarte adopts the inside line. Quiles now takes the inside line, but has been dropped back to 5th place. O'Gorman up the 4th, Uriarte in 3rd, but Rosenthaler running in 2nd place. Eddie O'Shea, though, this is what we saw in race 1. Very comfortable leading out front. It hasn't been as comfortable this race with lots of chopping and changing. Come around turn 3, you see O'Shea run a little bit wider on that line, while other riders prefer the inside line. It worked a lot in race 1, not quite this time round, as Rosenthaler now adopts the lead and holds on to it coming through turn 4, heading into 5. Big overtaking opportunities here. Will we see anything? It looks like he was just eyeing up a little bit of a move inside Uriarte, but nothing going for the Irish riders. Rosenthaler now leads over O'Shea, Uriarte in 3rd, and Yambias might be looking for a move on O'Gorman. It's chock-a-block action and chopping and changing at every corner.
It's really impressive riding from all of these riders. They might be young, some of them may be less inexperienced than others, but it's all been clean so far throughout not just this race, but in race number 1 earlier on today. I hope that's not famous last words on my part. I'll be made to eat them later, but it's all been very cool, calm and collected, very clean so far, with different various lines going into turn 10. That was O'Gorman and Yambias up the inside of Uriarte. Yambias right the outside of Uriarte. You're not supposed to do that there, but he's managed to find a way around, and it made it look nice and simple as Eddie O'Shea once again leads the way. He's happy to do that from the front, just like race number 1. Eddie O'Shea, who did crash out here 1 year ago in race number 2, was part of a multi-rider crash in the early stages. So far, so good for the young Brit. Number 8 leads across the line. Warning from Max Quiles. The team are making sure that he knows that he doesn't exceed any more track limits, because that would just take him out of contention completely after what has been so far a brilliant ride by the reigning European Talent Cup champion as he chops up the inside of Uriarte. Uriarte's having none of that. Threads eye of the needle, chops around the outside of your champion from European Talent Cup 1 year ago.
Eddie O'Shea then your race leader so far. Yambias has moved into 2nd position as we keep an eye on Quiles. See if he goes over track limits, but there won't be anything there. No green. O'Gorman now has moved back into 2nd position ahead of his Estrella Galicia teammate. 3 Team Estrella Galicia 00 junior team members here. 67, 94, 28. O'Gorman, and 2 of them going shoulder to shoulder as Yambias takes P2 off the hand of O'Gorman, with Quiles in P5.
Just want to point out to you, Chris, the fastest rider on track last time round by a considerable margin was Alessandro Morossi on the CF Moto Aspar Junior Team machine. He's in 7th. You'll just see him there behind Quiles. And another track limits
for
warning
for
Jesus Rios, your championship leader. Now Jesus Rios, he can't be running off track anymore, just like Quiles. They've got one hand tied behind their back now because they could have a penalty coming their way as Rosenthaler takes 2 for 1 into Lakasha. 2 of the Estrella Galicias. Thank you very much, I'll take that. And goodbye and good night as they all chase Eddie O'Shea for now.
Yeah, it is perfect for O'Shea. If they keep chopping and changing behind him, might just open up a little bit of space. And O'Shea will be more than happy to lead this race without a doubt. So we've got Rossenthaler running second. Quiles now up. It's a trio of Estrella Galicia machines led by O'Gorman. Then it's Yambias, and then it is Quiles. All of them more than eager to get on with this. All of them more than eager to secure a podium this year, and even their first win in the class. Hugely talented riders. Eddie O'Shea still waiting for that win also, as is Rossenthaler, so we could have a debut victor here today, Liam, but some of the more experienced riders are just lurking in the background.
Yeah, the previous three winners of this class, well, the only three winners in the class so far, Adrian Cruces, Rico Salmela and Jesus Rios, they're not a part of this battle yet, so we could have any of the top 7 or 8 so far taking their first win. As we see Jesus Rios, oh, he almost tagged the back of Morossi, he almost tagged the back of the number 19 CF Moto rider for 7th and 8th position there. That got a little bit close to that one there, as Jesus Rios is having it not his own way so far, as he's got a track limits warning hanging over him at the moment, as does the 48 of Lennox from Mara, who's mired down the pack in 22nd on the MTA junior team. So Lennox from Mara, he'll have to watch out for that, but he's outside the points for the moment. However, for now, the track limits warnings haven't come the way of O'Shea, Yambias, Rossenthaler, O'Gorman, Uriarte and Morossi. The top 6 out of the top 7 are all keeping it squeaky clean at the moment. But Max Quiles there, he's coming back to the fore, as is Rossenthaler, but Max Quiles up the inside. All the Estrella Galicia machines are all ganging up on Eddie O'Shea at the moment, but O'Shea hanging around the outside, but Quiles chops the front off O'Shea into turn 11. Oh, it's Rios getting very close there to, I believe that was Carpi, Jesus Rios and Carpi leaning on each other through turn 11. So I said a few laps ago, Chris, it was all a little bit clean in this one, but they're now starting to rough each other up a little bit.
Yeah, very much elbows out and going wheel to wheel in combat here in Barcelona. So we complete another lap, 6 to go. This time it is Max Quiles who leads over the line. But look at Eddie O'Shea. We've seen it once, we've seen it twice. I don't know how many times we've seen it, but he adopts that wider line coming down left. It doesn't quite work for him this time. He gets bunched up, although he is still running P2. He's got the inside line coming through to, turn 2. But Quiles does hold on, and O'Shea does slot into 2nd position. And there's Marcus Uriarte slotting into 3rd position at the indeed, actually, it's not Uriarte, it's Morossi from 18th on the grid, charging through. He was initially on pole position, but we remind you, disqualified then post-session of Q2, started deeper on the grid, and he's beginning his podium charge in earnest here. Rossenthaler, well, the Estrella Galicias, aside from Quiles, have been demoted as an Aspar machine. The CF Moto, Aspar and Licky Mollies begin to come through as well now on lap 10. But Quiles is out in the lead ahead of O'Shea. O'Shea has got some problems though with Morossi. Morossi has got some good pace here as well in Catalonia.
Yeah, another track limits warning that's just flashed up for us. The 20 of Fuetasan on the Honda Racing Thailand. He's back in 20th position, so and 22nd. So him and Lennox from Mara running together on track. Both got track limits warning, but for now it seems to be Morossi up the inside of Rossenthaler. He's gone for the Rossenthaler line, so he's Rossenthaler for turn 10 at La Caixa corner, and Morossi from P18, as Chris just said, already back into 3rd position. Further back, the top 14 covered by 1.4 seconds. That goes all the way back to your race winner back in Estoril, Rico Salmela, who is holding pace with the top 13 this time. Oh, it's Eddie O'Shea. He goes for the Rossi and Top Rack line there. He did say to us yesterday he was here for the World Superbikes watching Top Rack Rascati. Morossi's on the green across the start-finish line. They come, and Morossi almost had a big one there. If he was running on the green for on the grass for too long there, that could have been a big moment there. It looks like it might have just held back Eddie O'Shea. Now he's getting mired in the pack with riders going to his right, to his left, up the inside, over the top. Eddie O'Shea mired back down into 7th, but it's Max Quiles that now leads the way from Uriarte, O'Gorman and Cormac Buchanan. He was 5th earlier on today. He's finished in the top 5 in the last 3 races. He's come to add to that, add to more silverware and potentially take his first win in Junior GP.
Yeah, it is all action here in the 2nd race of the day in the afternoon here in Barcelona. Quiles is putting on a bit of a masterclass as things go. A Maximo masterclass. Uriarte has a little look up the inside. Uriarte as well, but he's running P2. Whereas Jesus Rios, the championship leader, is running down in P13. So this would significantly close the gap for Uriarte. Indeed, it might even make him championship leader if my maths is correct. Liam, I'll let you double check my figures later on. But
I'm
for
terrible
the
at maths.
moment, it is Quiles, Uriarte, Casey O'Gorman still very much in the thick of the action here. Cormac Buchanan, the Kiwi, back-to-back podiums in Misano and Estoril. He's looking for a third of the campaign.
Yeah, chopping and changing left, right and centre. I was looking at the lap times there, and Adrian Cruces set the fastest lap of the race on the previous lap, but I don't think that counts to much in this one, as Jesus Rios is off the back of this one. He's been mired all the way to the back of the field. Now, so your championship leader, he is at the back on the 54 with 4 and a bit laps remaining. He really has to pull his finger out if he wants to try and win this one again. And was that Quiles on the green? I think that was Max Quiles on the green, as Rosenthal's been hung out to dry on the exit of turn 14. So we have to keep an eye on that. It looked like Max Quiles might have just ran on the green through turn 13 into the final corner.
So looking at the lap times, it was Cormac Buchanan who's the fastest rider in this top group. Second time round on this as they come across a 1:49.7 sees Uriarte storm into the lead. And he is once again, it's Uriarte who's the fastest rider. And Alvaro Carpe, it's his transponder, is playing some games on our timing screens, but we'll keep an eye on the action here. So it's Uriarte over Quiles, or Gorman still running in third place, but keep an eye on the Kiwi Buchanan. He is out for a personal best result in this class. He's got 2 P3s to his name. He was pipped to a P2 by Uriarte in Estoril. He's looking for a little bit of vengeance perhaps on the Spaniard who is second in the championship. Casey O'Gorman also out to avenge some unlucky runs, shall we say, having suffered a problem in race 1 here, forcing him to start from pit lane. A late crash in Estoril denied him a maiden podium. He's very much in contention here, but it's Uriarte and Quiles now who are leading this group. All, I would say, the top 10 are perhaps in with a chance of the win, with 3.5 laps to go here. Down the back straight we come. Will we see a move come inside turn 10? Who's going to take the inside line of Uriarte? Is it going to be O'Gorman? Ooh, a little bit of a wobble. He does have the inside line. He gets up into second. Will he take P1 off the hands of Uriarte? He most certainly does, as Max Quiles helps out his teammate and bunts the number 89 wide. It is Casey O'Gorman who leads here now in Barcelona.
2 for the price of 1 for O'Gorman there. It looked like he's rear wheel skipping and jumping on the way down to La Caixa corner, but Uriarte, I should say, ran a little bit deep into the corner, and O'Gorman took full advantage of that. As we take off another lap, look at that, they're all within 1 second almost from O'Gorman, from Quiles all the way down to Rico Salmela at the back. Where's Rios? He has moved his way back into 11th. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 abreast, and it's Rosenthal that could take it, but maybe it's Uriarte, but no, it's Quiles that still holds it for now, as Carpe has moved up the order. O'Gorman and O'Shea almost coming together with Alvaro Carpe on the 83 and 8. Those two have just held up the riders behind them and let the top 5 get away ever so slightly.
Crucially, coming over that line, Casey O'Gorman, he has slotted into second, but he crucially led over the line. Remember, it is a long straight, but it's a short enough run to the line. We've been noticing Eddie O'Shea holding on to the lead and even taking the lead before hitting the checkered flag at the finish line. This time around, Quiles couldn't quite get there ahead of O'Gorman. So that might all just come down to this final corner, slipstream, and how much it will come into effect, because Quiles, O'Gorman, Uriarte, Morosi now in contention. Alvaro Carpe, where have you come from? We haven't mentioned a whole lot of you. You're now running in P5. He's the mode of Buchanan and O'Shea outside the podium places. Cruces is inside the top 10, as is Yambias and the championship leader, Jesus Rios. All of these riders are still very much in with a chance of victory here. Running all the way back to, at the back of this group, it's Hakim Danish in P13.
Oh, I think it was a couple of riders down.
Rios who's gone down.
It's Yambias. And I think maybe, was that Ruda that went down as well? Just saw at the corner of the screen there, a couple of riders clipping each other, and Yambias looks a little bit down and out. Hopefully he will be okay, and that's such a shame there for Yambias, who was showing his most convincing weekend so far in Junior GP. I think that might have just held up the likes of
Yambias and Rosenthaler, who have gone
you're
down.
Right,
Rosenthaler, massive shame for him. He was very much in the thick of the action here. But back out front then, it's Max Quiles who still leads with 2 laps to go. We're on the penultimate lap of race 2 here in the Junior GP World Championship. It's all to play for. Anyone can win, including Alvaro Carpe, who makes a massive lunge up the inside to take the lead. Casey O'Gorman then slots into second position. Looked like he might have taken the lead. Indeed, it is Carpe on the Laglice racing machine. It's Morosi in third, ahead of Uriarte. while we have Eddie O'Shea lurking as well, just in the background. Any of these riders could win. Any of these riders could be on the podium.
Oh my word, Keyless, he came from to second. Keyless let off the brakes and a miraculous ride and a miraculous overtaking attempt. Took about 4 of them. All at once he's sideways into Carpe, punting Carpe to the car park grid. It's getting a little bit rough and tumble now with a lap and a half to go. But Keyless, who was almost out on the dirt, exiting turn number 2, he's back in the lead of the race from his teammate Casey O'Gorman, and it looks like Yambias there is getting stretchered away. So that's such a shame for the Uruguayan. Here we go again. We'll just see out the left-hand corner of the shot. You'll see Rosenthal coming in like a train.
Collision between
he lost.
A nasty flip up of the bike of Yambias. Hopefully he's taken away in the stretcher. Hopefully that is precautionary. He does look like he's moving around in the gravel, but hopefully it is precautionary above all else. Then it is Max Quiles who's still leading out front ahead of O'Gorman. Alvaro Carpe has very much entered contention here. He leads the CF Moto Aspar Machines and Morosi and Uriarte as things stand. We've got what? 1 lap and 3 corners remaining, I think 2 corners as we enter the final corner for the penultimate time. Next time we come around here, it will decide who is going to win this race in Junior GP. It looks like we might just be on for a debut winner. It could be Max Quiles, it could be Casey O'Gorman, it could be Uriarte,
oh,
it could
Gorman
be
on the grass. O'Gorman on the grass down towards turn number 1, and he's taking the lead. What an overtake! No, it's Uriarte, Carpe, and Morosi. Eddie O'Shea Quiles, he's been married back down to sector 7th overtake after crossing the line in the lead. Quiles is all the way back in the pack, and he's out wide. We saw this 1 lap ago, and towards turn 4, he gets the run out of 3, and he overtook 4 riders in 1. However, this time round, it looks like he's out of contention as Uriarte and Morosi, your Aspar Junior Team riders, they are leading the way for now. They're both on for the first win of the season, and it's Carpe who's looking for his first win, the highest placed rider from last year to return this year in Junior GP. It's O'Gorman sideways. What a move there by O'Gorman. He went in sideways but managed to get it to the apex of the corner. And contact there with Carpe and O'Gorman and almost O'Shea as well. So Carpe, here comes Quiles up the outside into 7, and he's not making that stick. Buchanan round the outside of Quiles, and O'Gorman, he's the big loser in that one. He's back to 8th.
Half a lap to go down the back straight. We are on for CF Moto Aspar 1-2, Uriarte over Morosi, then it is Alvaro Carpe. But there are plenty of fireworks left in this one yet, and here comes the first of them, Eddie O'Shea up the inside, and Eddie O'Shea is down. Oh, again at turn 10. It's disappointment,
my
massive
goodness.
Collision.
It's all gone, it's all chaos in the
collision.
background.
We'll focus on what's happening out front as we enter the final 2 corners. Uriarte over Morosi. It's Carpe in 3rd. O'Shea has gone down, but we've got, who is it, the 28 of Max Quiles on for P4. It's going to be Uriarte who'll take a first win here. We've seen Morosi's going to be pip up to the line. It's all on the line. It's Carpe. It's only a split second between them. Carpe out of nowhere on the far left side takes the win. Morosi is claimed to be on the green, says Liam Hodgins. We've got Uriarte in 3rd, but Morosi's on the podium. Max Quiles comes 4th, ahead of Buchanan and Cruces and Danish. We've lost a number of riders at turn 10. Let's take a look shortly at what happened, but it's sensational from Alvaro Carpe.
Oh my goodness me, Alvaro Carpe. We've barely spoke to you or mentioned you at all this year, but Carpe, who finished 3rd in the championship last year with 4 podiums, he was so unlucky to miss out on any race victory. He takes his first race victory in Junior GP, and I must admit, he's one of the most popular riders in the paddock. He was always beaming from ear to ear with a podium, a big stand-up wheelie. Alvaro Carpe is now a Junior GP race winner, and look how overjoyed he is. Can you hear me now? He says, yes we can. Everyone is screaming your name. Alvaro Carpe, race winner, ahead of Morosi and Uriarte, but I believe maybe Morosi ran on the green a little bit going through turn 13. I could be wrong, Chris. However, we're going to have to keep an eye on that one.
We'll certainly get a replay shortly, but there's absolutely no doubt about the race winner, Alvaro Carpe. Sensational stuff here in Catalonia. We're about to breathe, I think, because we need to take a breath. It says Alessandro Morosi has crashed. He hasn't crashed. He's there, the number 19. He's currently P2. We will double check if he was on the green. I didn't spot it myself, but he is back on the podium, and it's a sensational performance from the Italian. started where? P18 on the grid from race 2. He had initially qualified on pole position, as we mentioned, but then got disqualified from Q2 for a technical infraction, so therefore had to start towards at the back of the Q2 riders. Marcus Uriarte, when will that win come for him this season? He's been so close on multiple occasions, but another podium, a 4th of the season, sees him now. I'll have to double check everything because I think Jesus Rios might have been caught up in that last lap crash. According to my timing screens, it looks like he was. So it looks like Uriarte will be the new championship leader as we leave Catalunya. So a big talking point then on that last lap. Let's take a look and just see how things unfolded. Eddie O'Shea is still part of the race here. He was making his move upside eventual race winner Alvaro Carpe, but then hit the deck. Disappointment for the Brit. He crashed out and again scores no points, and then multiple riders here, Yambias and Gorman involved for sure. Disappointment. It looks like Rico Salmela, Marcus Ruda and Eddie O'Shea. Look how close this is. Look how close this is. It looks like it's between Morosi and Uriarte, but then out of nowhere on the far left hand side of the circuit, Alvaro Carpe. It's a photo finish. It's incredible stuff. Only what, 200ths of a second. 200ths of a second between Carpe and Morosi, and less than 500ths of a second between the podium trio. Junior GP at its very best. Big celebrations down in Parc Ferme. That's Uriarte, who is being launched up in the air by his team as he assumes what I believe is the championship lead, just following Rios's DNF. So he was caught up in that accident at the end of the race. As dramatic end, Eddie O'Shea crashed out on his own. So it looks like Rios, Ruda, Salmela, Yambias were all caught up in that. I believe I saw Casey O'Gorman go down, but it looks like he has actually finished in the points, P14. He must have just gone wide and rejoined. As the riders have rolled into Parc Ferme, they're just doing their technical checks to make sure everything is okay. You can see Alvaro Carpe at the top. The little run over now, and he nearly falls over. His first mistake of the day, a little tumble in Parc Ferme, but now he is lifted on the shoulders of the STV Laglice team. Brilliant stuff then. A first win for Carpe in the class. As Liam mentioned, he has on numerous occasions been on the podium in 2023. He picked up a couple of wins in the ETC class in 2021 as well. He's been on the podium in Junior GP. He's been on the podium and won a Rookies Cup race. And now he can say he has won a Junior GP race. Race 2 in Catalunya. Brilliant stuff from the Spaniard. Yeah, very much euphoric celebrations as he whips off the helmet. Huge congratulations. Let's take a little listen in. Morosi then, big hugs all around. A little bit of a debrief with the team. I think they were just discussing how the race was won by just fine margins. A photo finish needed to separate the top 2 and almost the top 3. Junior GP at its very best, without a doubt. We'll be hearing from our race winner very shortly as we have a look at Marcus Uriarte. 4th podium of the campaign, another P3. P2 earlier in the day, P3 in the afternoon. A solid day's work from the CF Moto Aspar rider. So Alvaro Carpe now will be shortly guided towards Liam, as you can see in the top right of the screen. He'll come over to have a quick chat with us and Liam in English and Spanish. So an absolutely sensational race then. Junior GP living up to the billing. We said we didn't expect to be disappointed. Junior GP usually provides a thriller, but that was surely on another level. Alvaro Carpe, the first time race winner in the class. He's got plenty of podiums, but now he's finally going to enjoy the view from the top step of the rostrum, and he is down with Liam Hodgins.
Alvaro Carpe, what an incredible ride. You timed that to absolute perfection. You've waited a while, but it came off in the end. You're a race winner in JuniorGP. Just tell us about it.
Well, the only thing I can say that I'm very happy for my team because they did a very good job during the weekend. But well, the race was too difficult with all the riders. Well, was overtaking really aggressive. But well, finally I won because I get a good exit of the final corner, and well, also in the corner 7 I was really fast with my mates. But well, the only thing I can say thanks to my team. They did an impressive job, and well, to my family, to all my friends. That's all.
Congratulations, Alvaro. Once again for us en español.
Well, sí, bueno, ha sido una carrera difícil, lo que venía diciendo, pero he podido batallar con todo. Todos estaban haciendo un trabajo muy bueno, adelantando muy agresivo. Y bueno, finalmente, por la buena salida de la última curva, he podido adelantar a los dos pilotos de Aspar. Y bueno, estoy muy contento de mi equipo, que están haciendo un trabajo impresionante, y de toda mi familia y de mis amigos. Y para mis abuelos que me están viendo desde casa. ¡Vamos!
Felicidades, gracias.
Thank you. ¡Vamos!
So this is how Alvaro Carpe became a JuniorGP race winner. It's Adrian Cruces who started on pole, with Casey O'Gorman getting a great launch from the line. But Max Quiles took the whole shot ahead of Eddie O'Shea, with O'Gorman slotting into third position. O'Shea then had a little look up the inside as Facundo Yambias made a charge through the pack to retake second place from the Uruguayan, while then the likes of Marcus Uriarte, Alessandro Morosi, Cormac Buchanan, among others, really came to play. The top 14 at one point separated by just 1 second, and as Alvaro Carpe said, it was a very aggressive race, and we can see here it was shoulders and elbows out at all times. But then Uriarte seized the initiative out front, but still couldn't hold on to the lead for long, as O'Gorman made a play for second place, also made a play for the lead, but it was Quiles then who took the initiative shortly after, the Spaniard leading O'Gorman, Uriarte, Morosi. The crash then between the 94 of Yambias and Jacob Rossenthaler ended their races, while out front Uriarte maintained the lead, with Alvaro Carpe then coming into the 4. Casey O'Gorman moved into third place at the expense of the Spaniard, while it was a CF Moto Aspar 1-2 out front, with Uriarte and Morosi leading Casey O'Gorman out of the seat then. Uriarte still led here as Eddie O'Shea made a play for third place, but he slipped out of contention and compounded a miserable day. From a day that promised much for the Brits, it was 2 DNFs for him, or 2 no-pointers I should say. Back out front, the CF Moto Aspar 1-2 was still on, and the chase for the line looked like it was between Morosi and Uriarte, but on the left-hand side, Alvaro Carpe snuck over the line by just 0.02 of a second to take his first ever win in the class, ahead of Morosi and Uriarte. Time for the podium ceremony then, as the STV La Gliese team manager comes out to receive the team's award, and will be introduced to the riders one by one, starting from P3. First out is the new championship leader, Marcus Uriarte. Back-to-back podiums then for the CF Moto Aspar rider as he goes top of the championship standings. A great afternoon for the Aspar team, CF Moto Aspar team. They have both riders on the podium. Morosi recovering from a P18 start to take second, just missing out on victory to this rider, Alvaro Carpe. who takes his first win in the class. The circuit's managing director then hands out the team's trophy to the team manager of Alvaro Carpe. The first of two trophies then going the way of the Aspar, CF Moto Aspar team, and the second of the day for Marcus Uriarte. He's fast running out of space in his trophy cabinet. Fourth podium of the campaign. Mr. Jean-Marc Desnois then handing out Alessandro Morosi his second place trophy. While Moto 3 Licky Moly star Colin Vire, and a race winner too in Moto 3 World Championship, hands one to the Junior GP race winner here in Barcelona. Time for the Spanish national anthem. An absolutely belting race in Barcelona. See, the Prosecco now sprayed by the two CF Moto Aspar riders. No Prosecco for Alvaro Carpe. He's got the fizzy water, but he's got the game as well. First time race winner in Junior GP, a sensational performance from the Spaniard, who is now right in championship contention, you would imagine. But Carpe takes the win ahead of Morosi and Uriarte, with Max Quiles fourth, Buchanan fifth, Cruces, Danish, Rammersdorfer and Rush Mudley all picking up good point scoring positions. And then also inside the top 10 is Evan Belford of MLAV Racing. Leonardo Brusso, Pawlic, Danny Shariel, Eamon O'Daki and Casey O'Gorman round out the point scoring positions. Casey O'Gorman was actually demoted one place. He came across the line at 14th but exceeded track limits on the last lap. Mononyane and Puetasan then just miss out, as do Famara, Grenfell, Ligori, Tieti, Farkas and Uezu are the rest of your finishers. No checkered flag for race 2. Eddie O'Shea crashing out in a solitary crash on the last lap. Marcos Ruda also not seeing the checkered flag, as Jesus Rios, Rico Salmela both getting caught up in that late drama. Facundo Yambias and Rossenthaler collided with one another and also did not see the checkered flag, nor did Bojo, Aditama or Uchiyumu. So Marcos Uriarte is your championship leader. He's got 7 points to spare over Jesus Rios. Morosi moves up into third position, with Cruces dropping to fourth. Buchanan is in fifth. Alvaro Carpe fires himself into sixth. Eddie O'Shea, Max Quiles and Rico Salmela then trailing the Spaniard. Casey O'Gorman tied on 25 points with Jacob Rossenthaler. Hakim Danish, Danny Shariel, Leo Rammersdorfer following. Then Yambias failed to pick up any points once again. He's 15th in championship ahead of Rush Mudley, with Dodo Bojo in 17th. Marcus Ruda, Guillaume Plonk also have, well, Plonk wasn't in action today. Ruda failed to pick up points due to his late crash. Powlett picked up points, he's in 20th. Evan Belford's also top 10 finish sees him move to 21st on 6 points. Bruto, Odaki and Famara, the rest of your point scorers in 2024. Marcus Uriarte then is your new championship leader in the Junior GP category as we leave round 3. However, race 2 honours belong to the number 83. A sensational performance, a captivating performance from Carpe, you could say, and he is now a Junior GP race winner.